everybody and welcome back to the channel. Thanks again for joining me for another video on the Classic Mini. Just before we start today, I'm going to do a slight modification to the garage to try and stop the front area of the garage getting covered in dust and debris from the welding and grinding. Check it out. This is the area that I try and keep the cleanest. This is because in here I work on the smaller parts and use this area to clean and strip bits down. What I've done is I've ordered a clear tarpaulin from eBay, so it'll be the best of quality, and I'm going to run it across one of the joists and hopefully it will be like a giant shower curtain to use when I try and keep this area clear from the debris from the welding and grinding. Let's get it fitted. This is the joist I'm going to use. I'm just going to hold the tarpaulin up and see what the drop's like to the floor. What are the chances this mask can take the holes? No. Plan B. Now before you ask, I'm not off to fly a kite. I'm going to use this corded rope, 2 sky hooks attached to one of the joists, and this should act as a runner for the tarpaulin. Let's see if my idea works. Better not damage these front wings, they're in really good condition. I'm just going to take a measurement and keep it even from the bottom of the joist to the sky hook and the same at the top, and this should keep the corded rope level. Just going to screw this straight into the timber. All I'm going to do now is take this end of the corded rope and thread it through the tarpaulin. Let's speed it up. Now, although it looks like something out of a horror film, it should do the job really well. I'm really pleased with the results. I said I'm really pleased with the results. Let's get cracking with the car now. As you've seen before, the boot area needs a lot of work with the welder. I'm just about to try and test fit the battery box. The previous video, I got all the surrounding area nicely repaired. The battery box doesn't fit. Here is the line of my boot floor, and as you can see, it's way off. I'm going to go and get my workbench, get some wood, use the hammer and try and modify this battery box to fit my boot floor. Let's go. Okay, so I haven't got a bench vise, but what I have got is a home-based workbench. These are perfect for this sort of work, or so I think. Now, I've just dressed down the areas that needed to be lowered down using the hammer and the mole grip. So I've just dressed that down on the edge, just made it lower down. That'll fit to the boot floor nice and flush. And then I've got to actually cut here and get this whole edge lower down to the black line, and that will then sit flush with the boot floor. Like I say, I've got some blocks of wood, some G-clamps and a workbench, so that should do the job. I'll let you know in a minute and you can see the results. Now after all that work, this is what I've been left with. A really heavily modified battery box that needs a lot of grinding now to get rid of all the welds that I've done, to cover up all the slits that I made, to be able to put the profile to fit my boot. Once I get it all grinded and reattach the tabs that hold the battery in, it should look half decent. Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway, because I know if you're looking at this right now thinking what on earth has he done, I'm thinking the same thing. So I'll get grinding and then show you what it looks like at the end. So I've just finished grinding and fettling in all of the battery box and I'm really pleased with it. The only thing I've still got left to do is put the tabs on the edges, but I'm going to have to look back on some videos and photos before I do so because I can't remember exactly where they went. This is the battery box now, all done. You can still see some of the welding marks, but if I go down too far, I'll thin through the metal and that'll compromise the strength of it. Let's go over to the boot again and see if it fits. After all that, I think I deserve a drink. Thank you. Lovely. Happy Easter! Now that we know the battery box fits, let's get some zinc primer on it to give it some protection. Let's take it over to the spray booth. Okay. Looks like we're going to need a bigger spray booth. Shazam! Perfect. I'm just going to warm up the panel just so it takes the paint. It's a little bit chilly in here. I think that's all for today's video. I've got a fair amount done, but not as much as I wanted. As you can see, I'm still in the boot, and I have to say, no wonder the quotations for the bodywork were so high, with the labour that's involved just for doing a small area like that, let alone the rest of the car. I'd just like to say a big thank you to everyone that's watching the videos and everyone that's subscribed to the channel. It really does mean a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click on the link. Now, while we're talking about subscribers, one subscriber messaged me only yesterday to tell me that it was his birthday and he would love a shout out from Pocket Rocket Garage. So a big happy birthday to Hugo Hocknell, who's 27. And he told me that his favourite ever car that he's driven was a Mini Cooper Sportspack that he had in the same colour as ours. What are the chances? So have a great birthday and tune in next week for another great video, and hopefully we'll get more progress done. I'll see you on the next one.